Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see Viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
People have been asking how Rocket's babies are. These were born a little bit more than a year ago. This one has been doing relatively well. It's pretty good size, but for the past 3 or 4 months, well, not 3 or 4 months, but certainly several weeks, it was eating geckos right off the tongues and now has stopped feeding, which is not a good sign. So the outlook for this one, I can't really say. You know, these are Rocket's babies. They're very special to us, but you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It was eating great and then stopped, and that usually means that there's something wrong inside. This was the runt of the litter, and it's of course hiding in the very way back. Naturally. But this one has been eating pretty well. I have to disturb it in order to Alright, it's not going to eat off the tongues either, even though this is so I'm going to leave it here and see if it feeds. There's not much more I can do with these guys. They were born with lots of issues and stuff, and I didn't think that they would survive a year. I give everybody a fair chance, but sometimes you just have to call it quits sometimes. And unfortunately, you know, if they're not going to be feeding on their own, I'm not going to revert to force feeding like I did to get them started. It's sad, but this is life, and unfortunately they may not make it if they don't start eating soon. Alright, we're here with a captive born 2017 male Lessor Sunda Island pit viper, and actually he's the daddy of the babies that Big Blue had across the way. He used to be such a great feeder, but now that he's an adult male, he's a very difficult character to deal with, and to get him to feed. He'll only really sort of eat every 3 weeks, and usually I have to tease the snot out of him to get him to strike. And then the trick is to get him to hold, and he'll actually become quite aggressive and come at me, which is a bit disconcerting, but you know, he's not like a taipan. I can easily defend myself. Now come on and eat. Come on. It's been 3 weeks, dude. You just really have to sort of, I hate doing this because it stresses the animal and sort of stresses me. I'm sort of hiding. Once they get to be males, they just don't want to eat. And if I leave the food behind, I know he won't eat. Okay, now we've become aggressive, and I understand that. I completely understand that. But took a swing at me, huh? You didn't quite get me. Come on. Sometimes he'll eat, sometimes he won't. And, you know, he looked like he was interested in eating earlier, he was down on his log looking out. He was in hunting position. But he and I have just such a bad relationship right now. Oh, dude. All right, that's it. We're done. I don't want to stress the animal too much, so other than force feeding him, there's nothing else I can do. So he'll go hungry and we'll try again another time. This is the other male insularis, male, born out of the same litter. I have not bred him to anybody, but he's as stubborn as the other one that you just saw to get to eat. So I'm going to let the camera just sit there and you can watch him eat, because if I go over near the cage and I disturb him, he absolutely will not eat. He'll spit out and drop the food item, which he might do anyway. He's been known to do that. So I am just going to keep my distance, and unfortunately this takes up a lot of my time here at the lair. Basically sitting waiting for these stubborn male snakes to eat. It's quite annoying when you have to spend an hour feeding two snakes. You saw the one decided not to eat at all. This one has decided that it will eat, I think. We'll see in the end if he actually eats that food item I've provided or not. It's just really hard to tell. Meanwhile, I will go back and try with the other guy. One more time. Nope. He just refuses to eat. And unfortunately, you can't see that one too well, but he is eating. So I'm going to stop the camera here. I have to run the battery down, and we'll see towards the end if he actually eats it, and maybe we can get a second one down his gullet. All right, we got him to eat one. Now we'll see if we can get him to eat two. Come on. Come on. Okay, that's a good start. Now, believe me, I know they will spit them out if they're disturbed in the least. I was unsuccessful in getting the other one to eat. Again, I tried a second hopper on them. I think these male snakes, once they get a reproductive age, if they, regardless of whether they are able to reproduce or not, they just sort of switch off and die. They're just not interested in eating or really anything. I tried to get the guy that you're watching right now to breed with the green rocket, but he was too afraid of her, I think. He just sort of cowered in the corner and made no attempt to breed with her. I only tried to breed, you know, pairs that are unrelated, because I don't want to crossbreed, or I'm sorry, I don't want to interbreed. I want to keep crossbreeding animals with unrelated animals. This way they get a healthier set of genes than if they inbreed. You can see the results of inbreeding in the reptile community. Everybody selectively breeds for these special colored pythons and corn snakes and what have you, rather than just enjoying the good old natural variety that's out there. Well, he's dived down so out of view, so I'm going to shut the camera down and shut up and just let him eat. So here we have a 2020, almost a 2-year-old female Insularis that was born and bred here, and she's very, very excited to see me. You can see she's poised. She will happily eat this larger mouse, as you see. Growing up the next generation to hopefully breed. Of course, I keep track of the lineage and stuff, so we don't like to breed brother to sister, mother to daughter or son. We think that's a really bad idea, and you can see how detrimental it is on a lot of these morphs that you see on the reptile market. You can visually see what a disaster it's done to dog breeds and stuff. When you interbreed, you may select for the trait that you want, but there's all sorts of other genes that get activated that you don't want, and this is a detriment to that breed of animal.